This is a Blue Gold Iron moment. I hope you are enjoying this nature sounds, well, city sounds, if that's what you want to call it as you hear the cars going down the street. But I still want to share this Blue Gold Iron moment with you. And it has to deal with God. In particular, today is how God will share information with us through his word, the Holy Bible, okay? And it shows a lot of aspects of the workings of his personality, really who he is, which God is love. But we see all sorts of stuff in the Holy Bible, do we not? We see God's great love, his great power, and yes, even when he has gone to war. And yet, he is still love. God is still love. Now, what I want to zoom in on is as we read those accounts, what happens, especially early on, sometimes we'll see God enact some great feat, even some justice or what have you. And some of us may feel because we saw God do it, then we can do the same. We should do the same or what have you. And this is what I want to share with you is this, that even though God shows us how he feels about matters, not everything that he has done in the Bible was ever relegated really for us to do. Um, to take upon even responsibilities unless he specifically designated this responsibility to you or I. We're just not supposed to do certain things in general, you see, regardless of what we read or what have you, of what we learned about how God did something in this matter. Let me give you an example. There was once a bully where there was a couple of bullies. One was on another side of town. And this one bully was actually hindering this, person that was not fighting them, not a fighter at all, certainly didn't want to, engage in any activities that would make God unhappy. Okay, some people may have called it fear or what have you, but for the most part, that bully at a whim was always able to, pick on this one person, this one little boy. So what happened is there was another bully on the other side of town that did not like the bully anyway. See, even though he heard about this one little boy that was being picked on by that bully, that wasn't really his total motive of trying to find a way to fight this bully that was on the other side of town. So eventually, they were all in the same vicinity, and this bigger or tougher bully, if you will, that's what I want to say, at least tougher, meaner bully, actually started beating up this bully who was actually turning into a coward. You could see through the process that, oh my goodness, all this time, all of us in this neighborhood was afraid of this person. That's the way the children was feeling. And yet, when it came to this meaner, tougher bully from another side of town, this bully turned straight up into a coward, you see, turned straight up into a coward. And what happened is, even while he was slapping the now bully that has turned into a coward around, he started turning to the other ones in the neighborhood and started telling them, "You better laugh as I hit him. You better laugh. You better call him names." And for the most part, all the children were doing that, except but still the one that was getting beat up the most. And so the bully said, if you don't at least laugh, I'm going to come over and slap you next. Well, what ended up happening is, you probably know, uh, the boy laughed, the little boy laughed, even though he still didn't even want to laugh. Now, what does this have to do with God? Well, there are accounts in the Bible where God says, because he's patient, but God has spoken in the Bible that there's going to time that he's going to laugh at all his enemies when he reveals himself to them. And yet, guess what? There are accounts in the Bible where God has still made clear, don't you laugh at these persons. Don't you jump for joy, either when they get, or what they deserve for being a bunch of cowardly bullies, basically, or what have you. So I'm sharing these two accounts because I sometimes make the joke that maybe certain persons have read in the sections in the Bible where God says he's going to laugh when he basically reveals who he is to these persons who just ignore him, and something else going to happen after that. But maybe they didn't read those accounts where he still was basically saying, don't you gloat, don't you laugh over somebody else's downfall. Isn't that something? This was a Blue Gold Iron moment. Have a wonderful day.